everyone, this is Harini. In this video, I will be explaining about how we are going to track COVID-19 using Excel. COVID-19, being the first pandemic of this decade and the second in less than 15 years, has harshly taught us that viral diseases do not recognize boundaries. We, as a team of 5, have done a simple project that is amendable to implementation in Excel spreadsheets and present the observed data on the evolution of COVID-19 in different states of USA during December 2020 and March 2021. In this project, we will be using the following concepts: data pre-processing, dashboards, pivot tables and charts, VLOOKUP, correlation concept, and data entry form. This video was done in such a way that even a person who has no knowledge of Excel can understand the nuances of the various functions and tools we have used, and hence the video might seem a bit long. So feel free to skip through the timestamps provided in the video. We have taken a simple data set here. We have taken a random dataset containing information about number of COVID cases in all states of USA recorded during the year 2020 and March 2021. You can very well here see that the data is not at all clean here. It always contains some missing values, errors, incorrect formula, and other problems. To start the real analysis, first we must ensure that the data is clean here. This project depends on Power Query, so you will need Excel 2013 or later version. Power Query is a tool for filtering, cleaning, and shaping the data. Power Query has vast features in it, but now we are going to keep things as simple as possible. We are going to create new Excel workbook, then move on to creating a new query and fetch data. Then we are going to edit the query to shape data and load the data back to Excel. Finally, we will be adding more formulas as desired to make the data more visible. To clean a dataset, the following steps are to be taken. First, click on to Excel and open a blank sheet. Then go to Data tab, click from text or CSV, then click on to Desktop and search for the folder that you need to import. Here, in this case, we are importing this folder, current. Now, we have selected the file and imported it to Power Query. We will get a preview of the file's content as we can see here. Click on Transform Data. Now, as we can see here, the data is completely updated here. Delete the automated change type to make the query more resilient. Control-click and select the most wanted and important columns like date, state, negative, total test results, recovered, date modified, death, hospitalized, and that's it. Rest of them are not needed here. So now we are going to remove the other columns. For this, Right click on a selected column and choose Remove Other Columns. For each column, now select ABC and change the type according to the attribute. For example, for state we are using text, so change it to text type and change other attributes to number type. Change date modified to date or time type. Now drag to reorder the columns in the order state, positive, negative, recovered, hospitalized, death, date modified and total test results. Rename columns if needed. Here I am renaming date modified to date. Here, for each step that you are applying, we will be able to see here. This will be showing us all the applied steps that we have done in the Power Query. Now verify you have all columns in your query editor like this. Include custom columns to calculate the percentage for some attributes like positive, negative, recovered, hospitalized and death. I have named the column as positive percentage and the formula for calculating percentage for positive column is positive by the total results into 100. So we are inserting positive column here first divided by total test results. We are clicking OK here. Now we have got a positive percentage column. Change the type to percentage. Similarly, we are going to do it for negative, recovered, hospitalized and death. change the type to percentage in all columns. Verify that you have all columns like this. Now, once done, click on Close and then Load. Now, Power Query will pull down a fresh source of data, run through the steps defined above, and deliver the result back to Excel as you can see here. And yes, now our data is clean and ready for some preliminary analysis, which we will be showing in the next part. In the previous part, we had seen on how to pre-process the data for further analysis. Here, I have used Excel formulas to summarize the data. So you can see, I have summarized the data by using sum function. Sum from cell F2 till F57, we have the total for recovered. Now we will be creating a dashboard using pivot tables and charts with the pre-processed data. After cleaning the dataset, it is always recommended to visualize it. This helps us gain an understanding of the different variables, how their values are distributed, and the correlations that exist between them. We can determine which variables are important to our analysis, which ones give us more information, and which ones can be discarded for being redundant. For creating a dashboard, the following steps are to be followed. Click on to the modified pre-processed data and then select the entire table. Then click Insert Table and insert the pivot table. We must insert the pivot table in a new sheet. We have inserted our pivot table here as shown. Now drag and drop the following attributes into the areas below. State to rows, total test results to values, month and year to filters. Now click on the pivot chart and choose the desired chart type you want to create. Here I am creating a bar chart. Copy it and paste it in a new sheet. Now design the chart however you want to make it look like. I am presenting it in a dark theme. Now rename your chart to total test results. Now, our pivot chart is ready for the column total test results. As we can see, we are able to visualize all the results for each and every state. Now, go to the datasheet again and select the entire table and create yet another pivot chart. Here you will be holding the values for positive cases. I'm inserting yet another pivot table again. Yes, our pivot table is created now. You will be holding the values for positive cases in this pivot table. So we are dragging and dropping state to rows, positive to values, year and month to filters as we did earlier. Next, we are creating a pivot chart for this table. Here we are getting a chart something like this, but we have to differentiate the cases between 2 months. We have a data set where cases are being recorded for December 2020 and March 2021, and so we have to differentiate the cases between these 2 months. So the alignment must differ here. We must change the filters now. Drag and drop state in filters and year and month in rows. Now insert your pivot chart. You will be getting a chart something like this, and this is what we need now for differentiating the cases between 2 months. Click OK and then design your chart however you want to make it look like. Change it to positive. Now, cut this chart and paste it in another sheet. Align it in a presentable manner. Make it look more attractive. Do the same process for negative, recovered, hospitalized, and death attributes. Now we are done with creating pivot tables and charts for positive, negative, recovered, and death attributes. As we can see here, we have the pivot charts for positive, negative, recovered and death like this. But for hospitalized alone, we had to change the format. Add state to rows, year and month to filters and hospitalized to values so that we will get a chart like this. Insert pivot table. Create the pivot table now. As I said earlier, we are going to make some changes in the alignment. Add state to rows, year and month filters, and finally hospitalized attribute to values. You are getting a pivot table something like this. Insert pivot chart. Let us change it to line form. Change the chart name to hospitalized. Now we have created the pivot chart. For better understanding, click on to each chart and add data labels for each attribute. It's clustered here, so let's move this. Yeah, we are done with adding the data labels for each result. Now we have to create slicer for each attribute. Click Insert Slicer and click State, Year and Month. On clicking any of these attributes inside the slicer, the chart should filter and display result accordingly. And that's why we are using slicer here. So on clicking any of these values, the chart must filter automatically and give us the result for the same. Right click the slicer and select Report Connections. Now click all the pivot tables to establish connection between the slicer and the table. Same for other slicers too. Now we have reported the connections for all slicers and pivot charts. As you can see here, now and on clicking one attribute, I am able to get the result for the same accordingly. Click Control and then select other attributes so that we can view the result for one or more attributes. This is how we can enable multi-select option for slices. On clicking 2021, we can only see the results for the year 2021. And by clicking 2020, we are able to see the results corresponding to the year 2020. By clicking this, we are able to clear all the filters and restore the charts to the previous state. Finally, we add background images and we can make some changes to it to make it more presentable. To our project, we have added background image and made some changes to the dashboard to make it look more attractive and presentable. Something like this. Just a minute. Now, this is how we made our dashboard look more presentable and more attractive. We added background image to it and made it more presentable. This is how we create dashboard and present the clean data visually. In the next part, we will be looking about VLOOKUP. In the concept of VLOOKUP, we have first created a table in which we have entered state in the first column, and then in the subsequent rows, we have changed the column index alone according to the data we require. Here the formula that we use for VLOOKUP is VLOOKUP lookup value table array, column index number, range lookup. In our case, if we are typing FL here, we are able to get the positive, negative, recovered and death values correspondingly for the state that is given here. Lookup value in our case is 16. Since it is located in the Q16th cell, the lookup value for our data is Q16. State is considered to be the lookup value here. Lookup here means search for the data that we particularly need using one attribute as a reference. We have fixed state as the reference for searching other attributes. The entire table is considered as table array. So, starting from A2 till O56, we have considered it as table array. Column index number here is nothing but just an index value for each attribute in the data given. For state, it is 1. For positive, it is 2, and so on. It corresponds to column A, column B, and so on. Finally, for displaying the value, we give 0 here at the end. For example, in this, we are entering a state name. For example, we are entering PA. Here, Q16 is the lookup value, A2 to O57 is the array range as we mentioned earlier, 2 is the column index number. Here for positive, the column index number is 2 and so 2 is mentioned here. For displaying the exact value, we have given 0. We look for negative. Here the column index number is changing since it is located in the 5th position. So you can see negative is located in E, corresponding to 5th position, and so we can see that column index number here is 5. This is all about VLOOKUP concept. Now we are moving on to correlation concept. In this concept, we will be finding the correlation between hospitalized and death attribute. Correlation between variables in general means that change in one variable will reflect on the other. In this case, the number of cases hospitalized will directly reflect on the number of cases died. Correlation analysis is a statistical method that is being used to evaluate the strength of a relationship between two quantitative variables. A high correlation here means that two or more variables have a strong relationship with each other, while a weak correlation means that the variables are hardly related. In other words, it is the process of studying the strength of the relationship with available statistical data. We are finding the strength of relationship between hospitalized and death. To find the correlation between two attributes here, we have selected the entire table. Then clicked on to charts and click scattered table. After clicking the scattered table, we made necessary changes to the design and entered the formula for finding the correlation. On right clicking the chart, we will be able to find add trend line, and we added the trend line for the graph. We also had an option to include the formula for finding the correlation between hospitalized and death cases in the same column where we found out the how to add trend line. And so here we can clearly see that it numerically depicts the correlation between the two attributes here, and this trend line will give us the correlation between the two attributes in a visualized manner. Same way, we have calculated correlation between hospitalized and recovered cases in the same manner for how we did for the previous attributes. This is all about correlation concept. Now finally, we are going to see on how to create a data entry form. We have to keep updating data every day. COVID data is being generated every day. So for this, we are creating a data entry form. The following attributes are being used for data entry. To create a data entry form, we should go to File, then select Options. After selecting Options, click Customized ribbon. Click on to Choose Commands. Select all commands and search for forms. Now click Add. It's showing an error since we haven't created a group. So first we need to create a group and then we should add the command. We have created a group in the home page below the Insert tab. Now add form to the new group. Click OK. Now we are able to see a form button here. We must select all the attributes that we are going to enter in the data form and then click on to form. Now we are able to get form something like this. I have already entered some data into this. Now let's enter some other data. Click new and then enter the data. For example, I am entering some of them. Click on tab button so that it is easier for us to switch on to tabs. Yes, as we can see here, we have entered the data here and it is visible now. So for subsequent data, this is how we are entering our data and generating the final output. And this is how data entry is being done.